All right, good morning. Um, it's now 4:30 a.m. In Sydney. We're about to see the last match for two of our candidates. It's the last match for xuanet. It's also the last match for Kleerkast. They're going to be getting started soon. Um, let's just have a look at the cross table before we get started. So we've got here um, Opper JK the Bullfrog, 12-10, Kleerkast, GSVC, xuanet, Blitzbullet, Master Tan, 16, I Know It, Little Plotkin, and Fumitox. You can see there's the last gap. We don't have many more gaps to fill. I can see there's only what looks like 11 matches left. And I believe of these 11 matches, maybe you're already 4 of these have been scheduled. So Kleerkast versus xuanet. Sunday, well, it's Monday for Sydney, but Sunday for everyone else, there'll be Opper versus Blitzbullet, Fumitox versus GSVC, and the following week, 12-Tox versus Fumitox, 12-Teen versus Fumitox is also scheduled. So, a recap on scores. We've got Opper on 8.5 out of 9, more or less going to be the winner of the candidates. The only person who could catch him is GSVC. If GSVC won, he'd be on 8.5, and Opper would need to lose to be on 8.5. And Opper already has a 10-point gap on tiebreak from GSVC, so Opper would have to lose 10-0, and GSVC would have to win 10-0 just for them to be equal. So yeah, very likely that Opper is looking like the winner of the candidates at this stage. Earlier today we saw JK the Bullfrog. He pulled 2 wins out of 2. One was against Little Plotkin, and one was against Kleerkast. He won 8-2 and 7-3, very convincing fashion. Yeah, so that's the wrap up here on the board. Yeah, a lot of players only have one match left to go. So yeah, I expect we'll get started soon. We're just waiting for xuanet to arrive. I think Kleerkast is already waiting. So yeah. In the meantime, who's looking like they'll come in the next positions? It's probably 12-Teen on 7 out of 9. He's just got Fumitox left to play. He could finish a possible 8. Following that, who's the next best scorer? If we just go to match percentage 1, in fact, Little Plotkin has done quite well, 4.5 out of 9 here. He could make 5.5. Yeah, Plotkin didn't start that way. I think he might have lost his first 2 or 3 matches, but he's put together a series of wins. I believe he was actually down a long way against Fumitox, and he came back to win that one 6-4. Yeah, it's been really hard just to score one, so it's probably Plotkin and Fumitox that are looking like the next highest scorers in the field. Okay, where are we at now? We're still waiting on xuanet. I know in the chat he was saying that he may or may not be able to make it, and then I think he said he was going to be in. Let's just double check. Okay, so yep, he said I'll finally be able to make it. That was not that long ago. xuanet messaged me that he might not be able to make it here today, but wait and see. We'll reschedule soon if this happens to be the case. So xuanet said he's still going to be in as of 2 hours ago. I guess we got to wait patiently. Um, Update on Candidates Appreciation Fund. We've got $990 out of the $1,111 target. That's when every candidate finishes their 10 matches, they're entitled to $101. We actually had, I just messaged all of the players requesting their PayPal address to be paid, and JK the Bullfrog has basically generously said, "Oh, I'd actually prefer my share of the fund to go, back into Crazy House towards the next tournament." And then he went and donated $100 himself. So yeah, we got $100 from JK the Bullfrog today. And we also had, I think it was David Hanley, put in $15. So just acknowledging the recent donations. We're still waiting on xuanet, so we're a few minutes in now. Let's just see who played recently. I'd like to see if we can make up the time by looking at some other matches potentially that have happened recently. So Fumitox versus Little Plotkin. Little Plotkin won 6-4. Let's go have a look at what happened there while we wait. If as soon as xuanet arrives, we'll move to the live action. So let's just find this. So Fumitox, what's the last game he's played? Okay, so yeah, look at that scoreline. So yeah, you can see Little Plotkin here won the first game and then lost 4 and then won the last 5. What a seesaw match. Let's have a look at how this went down just very quickly. I'm going to turn off engine. Okay. So this is first game looking from Little Plotkin's side up against Fumitox. Let's just have a look at how it went down. So a kind of French setup. Bishop d3, that's kind of interesting. Bishop d6, okay. Right, so he's left this pawn on here, brought the bishop out this way. Okay, quite a unique looking position, and he does get d4 in now. So white with some space, and then d5. So he's crafted a slow, delayed push of these pawns. So the bishop's back onto c5. Takes white up a piece for a pawn. And knight at h5. So now I'm looking at g7, still safe back at home. He's got a fortress here with these pieces around the king. Okay, so now he blundered a little bit in that he's allowed knight at h3 check. Bishop takes g5 would run into knight at h3 check, which is all over. You can't play king h1 because of knight takes f2, but if you take it, then knight here. Yeah, is their mate? I think you'd just go this way. So you'd be winning it that way. I'm a bit concerned about xuanet because he still hasn't turned up, and we're about 8 minutes past start time. But okay, so it looked like Plotkin had to just defend for a move here. Pick up this one. Knight at h3 now, not a threat because of knight takes f2 being covered by queen takes f2. But now rook at g1. Wow, what a game. Plotkin had to go on the defensive. He's held the position together. Knight at d3, more pressure on f2. Okay, now white gets a break. Can he make a move on the attack? No, he's just gonna recapture, position this one in. Still got to defend f2. Bishop at e3, blocking off the defense. Wow, this was all fire, this game. Takes. Now knight f2 is on, but king g2 is a viable escape square. Okay, bishop takes. So Plotkin hold in there. Okay. But this looks like black should maybe win, but maybe if black doesn't have a forced mate, knight at h6 is going to be inevitable, or it's takes. So this is one of those situations where it's either black has forced mate or he's going to be in a loss. So let's have a look here. Rook at d1. Wow. Okay, so it looks like black just ran out of steam. What a game. It's a shame I missed this live. He's got mate now, but he's actually trying to win by taking all the pieces. Alright, he had to checkmate him on accident. Couldn't win all the pieces after all. These two are good friends, I think. So that was really interesting. I just wanted to go back here at the critical point. F takes g7. Sorry, I know this is meant to be xuanet playing against Kleerkast, but while we wait for them. Yeah, okay, is saying that Krosky covered Fumitox versus Plotkin, but xuanet versus Little Plotkin and Little Plotkin versus Master Tan wasn't in there. Blunderman1 donated $9.99. Thanks so much. I appreciate the support, Blunderman1. Here, I'm just curious to spend a little bit of time to see if there was a better option. Rook at e1. Yeah, it's hard to find anything better. I think the engine will call it in favor of white here. Yeah, it's actually coin plus 17.6, it seems. Yeah. So there's I mean the white king has too much room to move. It might even be something like another pawn or something could have made the difference, but here white is better. Okay. Saying bishop d3 and bishop d6 was the theme of the match from Plotkin. Okay. Let's go to the next game. Yeah, I mean, even if this was covered by Krosky, I just find this is a recent game, recent match, and it's very interesting that the scores were lined up this way. So I'll keep this rolling in the hope that xuanet turns up. Okay. Bishop d6, alright. So Plotkin with this awkward bishop on d6. Knight d4, okay, he's given back a knight so the attack doesn't roll too hard, but yeah, this looks pretty horrible for black already. Bishop takes h6, okay, so that's nice. If takes here, check. Wow, That went really dangerously. What are the pieces in hand? Oh, is there not a win here for black? Really? I feel like black has the win here. Easier said than done, right? It could be knight at f1. Sorry for the silence. I think it's always good just to have a bit of a live practice and try to find the tactics without the aid of the computer. Knight at f1. Because if you capture this one, that looks like trouble. Oh no, this one's no longer covered. Rook here. Yeah, this looks like toast. So it would have to be king c1 and then queen check. So I think knight at f1 is a critical move there. Maybe not pawn at c3. Okay, we can see if the engine agrees or not. Where is it? Yeah, maiden's 4. Suggesting knight at f1. Yep, there we go. Verified. Okay. Okay. Kleerkast has put in a suggestion. Maybe we can play some till xuanet arrives. I mean, okay, xuanet looks like he's here now, so we are on like that. So yeah, that was fun just to see a couple of really interesting looking matches between Little Plotkin and the Fumi Talks, but it does look like there was a little bit of some unusual openings just there. LJH Chess, 10 bits, thanks for the support. Alright, here we are, xuanet versus Kleerkast. A little bit of a late start, but here we go. I like how Blunderman put in $9.99 and made it $999.99. Nearly exactly 90%. Putting us 1 cent away from $1,000. Yeah, no, we're looking like we're really good to make the target. The support from the community has been phenomenal. Right, it says xuanet needs a few minutes. He thought we started at 8. I think, yeah, xuanet maybe got the time wrong. So we'll be patient and wait for him. Okay, yeah. Yeah, for myself, I mean, I'm looking forward to finding some time to get in form. Probably put in some practice matches. Probably review some of the Crazy House World Championship candidates matches that I haven't seen. I think I've mentioned it in a previous stream. Leading up to the Crazy House World Championship final, it's important to be in good shape, in good form, be in the best quality you can be. Not just for myself, but more so, I think there's a big expectation from the community that you're in your best shape. And I haven't been able to play as much Crazy House in the last month as I would normally like to. So we've got to get some more match time in there, get some match fitness ready. Um, yeah, so it's looking very likely to be Oppa Wesson at this stage. I think it'll be a fantastic match. Just looking forward to enjoying it and having some fun. Um, okay, Slim MG, Shaker 90, that's Oppa Wesson. LJH, glad to see you in the chat. Apologies to everyone for the delay, but xuanet, I believe, maybe just got his timing off a little bit. We'll get started soon. I thought the action was just about to happen, but we'll just be patient, I guess. I'll throw it to the viewers. I mean, any predictions for this one? This is the last match for Kleerkast and xuanet. I think it's a great clash of styles. Kleerkast, probably the more strategic of the two. xuanet, he likes to attack. Hard to pick this one. Kleerkast versus xuanet. Who's got more out of them in the actual standings? Just quickly. Kleerkast on 2 out of 9, xuanet on 3 out of 9. So xuanet has just won a few more matches. Okay, knight f6, that's interesting. It looked like knight g5 should be good for white there. Yeah, if I'm gonna guess, I'll probably put xuanet ahead 6 games to 4. I think it'll be really close. We'll see how it develops. So, JK the Bullfrog played against Kleerkast earlier today and had a similar kind of position. Nice Nicholas Tice here. 1 bit, toss this onto the pile. Good to see you, Nicholas. Okay, bishop's come around to defend f7 as well. So both players solid here. This is a fairly equal position. Okay, it's going to be strategic Kleerkast versus aggressive xuanet. I feel like h6 could have been in order there. Maybe he doesn't want to make a light square weakness, and so he's leaving the pawn on h7. Caprarot says, hello everyone. John, will you stream some Bughouse maybe after the CWC final? Yeah, there'll have to be some Bughouse at some stage, at some time. Yeah, I mean, like Helm's Knight's been doing a great job with Bughouse this year over on chess.com. So yeah, no, I'd like to join the Bughouse guys again. That'll be fun. But yeah, we'll let this Crazy House World Championship wrap up first. It's been taking quite a while to get to all the games, but it's been fantastic to see so many high quality matches. So xuanet here deciding to open up proceedings by blocking the bishop, getting this open. Okay, Kleerkast taking this one, and also this one. What's his idea here? So I think he's looking for some initiative. In bishop at d3 looks logical. Okay, he's going to go for knight at g5. I mean, he'd love a swap of queens. So bishop at h6, logical, still holding on to things. Bishop at d3, king back. So black's up a piece for a pawn here. And yeah, I just like black only slightly because of that material edge. LJH is picking 5-all, 5-5. Okay, that's nice. So this bishop can't move off its defensive line because of this, so white recovers the piece with a pawn. But here probably knight at e3 looks like it makes sense. Basically threatening to win the knight, but also threatening g2. Okay, but xuanet straight in, more direct, more aggressive here. Ooh, pawn at f6. Yeah, I just felt knight at e3 was necessary to block off this trade. G takes f6, now bishop at g7, knight at f5 check. Ooh, this looks really dangerous for black. I much preferred knight at e3. No good square for the king. You might have to go and grab this one. No, he's back here. So queen takes e7 looks right. Yep. If queen takes, bishop at g7, king across, knight takes e7, king up, queen at h7, mate. And now g7 and h7 are both threatened. And that's just the difference. Like knight at e3, I think it was still very good for black. Still asking white questions on what to do with the knight on g5. I just find sometimes xuanet just really wants to go as direct as he can for the king, and sometimes, you know, the most direct path is not always the preferable one. I can't see how black can defend this. Okay, queen c8, but queen f6 and queen g7, that's it. Okay, Kleerkast draws first blood. Okay, ZH says we are going to start Bughouse on Fix Friday evenings GMT. Great, good to hear. Alright, let's see if xuanet can stop the bleeding. Knight f4 and knight takes g2 is often an idea. I thought xuanet had the edge that last game. I think Kleerkast will be the favourite in positions which are blocked, which become a lot more strategic, where you've got to be more patient. When it turns sharp and tactical, xuanet's going to be the favourite to win those. So a lot's going to depend on the opening and middle game and what kind of game is there. Just kind of, in a sense, which environment is going to be more suited. Queen d3 I think makes sense here, and if pawn at d5, then, you know, white has the material to place in hand. He's gone queen e1. Mixed name, hi, says hi John, glad to finally catch a stream live. Thanks for joining. Nixed name, sorry, not mixed name, nixed name. Let's get that right. Yeah, I kind of preferred queen d3. I mean, this also threatens bishop d3. Apologies if you see a few yawns from me. I've been nearly doing an all-nighter, catching two of JK the Bullfrog's matches before this. He won against Kleerkast, and he also won against Little Plotkin, JK the Bullfrog. So this is the third match I'm covering. Coverage kind of started at midnight, and then there was one at 2 a.m. I think, and now this one is at 4:30 a.m. So I've been just going to sleep in between matches, catching what sleep I can. So xuanet has parted with a piece here, but he's looking for compensation that way. Knight takes c3, looking to dispose of the knight in the best fashion he could. Knight takes d4, threatening knight at e2. So material exactly balanced at this moment. Like I'm not surprised right now if xuanet's actually thinking of pawn at g6. It's just like the most aggressive move. And knight at e2 would lose the queen, but he'd be looking for something on f7, knight at e5, pawn at h6. Could actually be quite dangerous. But pawn at g6 may actually require just black to just capture for a moment. Okay. Yeah, okay, Blunderman 1, what is actually the correct pronunciation of xuanet? Is it really that? Yeah, I think it's probably actually xuanet, because I did get to play Bughouse with him on one occasion, but I always just say xuanet, so it could be xuanet, and I think how you pronounce the T possibly matters as well. Little Plotkin says, John Lee, quick question. What is the best way to learn opening theory for the black pieces? Jeez. I don't know. I'm probably not the best one to ask about opening theory. I mean, I kind of I follow matches and I see what people are playing and what's common and what's current. But yeah, I need to figure out what's the best way to prepare for the Crazy House World Championship in terms of opening theory. I mean, I'm probably going to have a look at a lot of the games from the Crazy House World Championship, just get some ideas on what's current, what's being played, if there's any new traps in the opening. I mean, if I'm preparing, I'm probably more of a mindset to not so much to prepare for an advantage in the opening. I'm more looking to prepare to avoid being completely lost in the opening. Just knowing what traps are. If I can come out with a fairly balanced or even position out of the opening, where neither player is, completely sure of what's going on, that's good enough. And if you happen to know where to avoid some traps, and so you get to play one of the traps yourself from the other side, then that's a bonus. Yeah, so that's probably my view. So let's just catch up with the game here. Xuanet decided to sack a queen to really consolidate his king side, and then basically give himself a lot of time to develop everything he wants and generate an attack. I think Kleerkast will be comfortable with this, even though his clock has been burned considerably by the requirement to think. Here even bishop d4 looks interesting to my eyes. Okay, he's just gonna sidestep a moment. Why king h1? Just so it's not check, so you're not pinned. Yeah, Kleerkast is just grinding here, but knight e5 check is gonna look a bit dangerous. Okay, he's gonna try to attack, but he doesn't have the goods at the moment. This knight is covering. I think Kleerkast just had to hold back, be a bit patient. Yeah, now knight e5 check. It wins the queen. Xuanet's going to be happy here. He's got a safer king. Either there's a takedown or bishop at h3 is just going to secure the safety first. captures e3. No, there's a knight in hand. Knight at e5, queen at e7. No, I don't see it yet. Maybe it's pawn at c6. Bring the king out first. Pawn at d5. Yeah, pawn at c6. Nice. If takes, then knight at e5 is mating. The king has to capture. Knight at d4. Pawn at c6 again. So he's looking for queen at f7. Nice. Nice from xuanet here. Can he afford that though? He could be in trouble here. I think Kleerkast has it. Or not after that move. I was thinking bishop at f1. No, he's just lost a few pieces in time trouble. Now xuanet has it again. I think bishop at f1, king d2, knight at c4 was winning for black. And yeah, here's what I'm saying. I think in the time scrambles where it's a bit sharper, xuanet's probably going to have the edge. Yep, he's got him now. This is over. Wow. Okay, fiery finish there. That's one each. Alright, d4. Okay, xuanet going for the bishop e7 system. That's not a common choice for him. Or maybe against this g3 system, that's what he likes. So we're at one apiece here. This is one of Kleerkast's pet openings, this fianchetto. He's executed it quite well in the candidates this year. And we've got GM Yasser joining us again in chat. I thought you had to cook, man. Yeah, Yasser joined me for JK the Bullfrog versus Little Plotkin just earlier today. We're very blessed to have Yasser in our community. And then he had to go cook dinner, so I don't know if he just quickly ate dinner just then and he's come back to watch. Okay, he's deciding whether he should take with the pawn or the bishop. Pawn is more hopeful to hit f3. Okay, well, Kleerkast not even moving the knight. If takes, then e6 is going to hang. The xuanet there, pausing on taking this. Now knight d2 would put pressure on that. I kind of like knight d2 there because you're asking black what he's going to do about this pawn. If you force black to play d5, then you cut off the potential of this bishop. Knight h4, looking more towards the king side maybe eventually here, but you know there's not many pieces in hand at the moment, so I'd prefer to go hunting for some material. Flourish Z-House just subscribed, says keep on being you. That's very nice. Flourish T1 sub, subscribed for 7 months in a row now. Thank you very much. Good to have you. That's one of my regulars. Flourish. Okay, xuanet going for the sack. So he put a bishop on c4 to get the queen to e2, and then now he's going in with pawn at f3. Is it over aggressive? The only challenge sometimes is this is a hard fortress to attack. Queen takes d7, and I think f takes g2 immediately could be right. Is there anything dangerous here with two knights? I don't think so. I think black's actually well enough covered. This is where, xuanet can throw some pieces at you, and then, if you get tempted into taking this one, suddenly his attack is actually very strong. You got a threat of taking here, or knight at f3. I'm actually leaning towards pawn at g6 here for Kleerkast, and yes, Kleerkast determines that he doesn't want to take this. I think f takes g2 is too dangerous. Pawn at here, if capture... No, this is where it could get sharp. He can take, put a pawn on, take g7, takes pawn at f6, and maybe pawn at h6. Okay, he's gone straight for the check here. Maybe he's seen something. I was a fan of queen takes g6 because it threatened queen at h7. After queen takes g6, you're forcing black to defend h7. So with pawn here and queen takes g7 just looked like it was going to open up an ugly can of worms for black. Unclear if it's completely mating, but it just looks so promising. Pawn at h6. So look, he's taken it now. He's still got this threat. I suppose queen at g8 is still a mate threat. Rook takes, takes. You'd have to play king takes, and then pawn at h7, rook across. And then rook at g8, of course, because the bishop's covering. So this is still threatening mate, and then queen takes g7 is also still on offer. So black cannot take here. Yeah, how do you defend against queen at g8? That's the question here. Okay, knight at e2 check played. Is this also a valid threat? At the moment it's just queen at g8. Okay, queen at g8 I expect to come very quickly. And just a reminder, we're on 3-minute delay here, so the players will not be leaked any information live. By the time the stream is put out publicly, the games have generally proceeded well past. Queen at g8, yeah, it's been calculated by Kleerkast. Takes, pawn at h7, rook at g8. If king goes across here, there's rook at g8, you just rinse and repeat, and you have a bishop at h7 there. So white has won 3 games so far. Kleerkast up 2-1. Okay, so we got a French here. xuanet not making the capture. I like e5 here. I feel this bishop is misplaced on b4. It probably belongs on e7. So against knight f5 or knight g6, we just castle. Or it could be bishop g5. But xuanet, of course, looking to attack. h4 is just fine, I think. What's this? Let me just pull this over to the side. Alright. I just got a message from the finisher, and he said thanks a lot for your content, but I think he's also asking me to take sleep seriously. Yeah, no, I do take sleep seriously. I am just making a sacrifice for what is my passion. This is looking really good for white here. It could even be a takedown. At worst, white just takes this. But But yeah, xuanet's going to go straight for the kill. Rook at h8. Pawn at g7. You could go bishop at h6, might even be stronger. I like bishop at h6. Move the bishop to h6 is just the same, just as good. Now pawn at here. But this knight defends g8. That probably isn't what he was looking for. That's why I thought bishop at h6, because then you could recapture with the bishop. But he'll be fine. It's fine. xuanet's got so many checks that pick up material at the same time. Yeah, no. To inform your viewers on how serious I'm about sleep, I mean, I actually had an issue with my nose earlier this year, and I actually went under the knife, had some surgery done where I needed to have anesthetic to, basically cut out a whole lot of section on my inner nose so I can breathe better, because I was going to sleep, and worse than not having enough time to sleep, I would get a full night of sleep and wake up feeling tired. And since the operation, it's been so much better. I mean, I can breathe through both nostrils very clearly, So I am taking sleep seriously to the point where I've put myself under the knife much earlier this year. But yeah, we didn't come here to talk about my nostrils, did we? So let's get back to the action. Ooh, he's kind of looking like he's going to escape. Knight at d5, nice. So what's the point of knight at d5? If you take here, the queen covers c6. Then after the check, there'd be a knight on c5, a knight on g7 to finish. Now against this, knight here, knight takes g8. Yeah, that's quite elegant how he has wrapped this up. Knight at d5. I agree with Little Plotkin. Says, wow, knight at d5 was a spectacular move by xuanet. That is a top-notch, very nice find. Knight at d5. I didn't see that one. Very elegant finish from xuanet there, sealing it all off with checks. Okay, d4 b5. I have played this myself, and it's one way of expanding on the queen side. Kleerkast pretty quickly to set up pawns that oppose the diagonal. We're at 2 games all here. Okay, e6 is going to challenge the center. Yeah, I mean, black here is trying to prove that white has overextended just a little bit with this pawn. And now, black gets natural development, gets a natural hit on e4. There's pawn at c4 to be concerned about. Yeah, I'd give pawn at c4 a real look here. Yep, xuanet agrees. And if bishop here, you could take bishop takes e4, at least start picking off one pawn. Yeah, there's queen at c8, queen at d8, but I think black's okay with it. I'd be the pawn grabber here. Alright. Yeah, fantastic to have Yasser in the chat. He's also giving his point of view. Yeah, I like black here. I feel the opening has gone in the right direction for black. Rook g8, got to cover pawn at g7. Eventually, that's going to be a problem. I mean, white might even have to leave it here just to cover e4. But yeah, I mean, black's playing this opening to claim space advantage on the light squares, and he's certainly doing it. Okay, but now the point is, if you take this, f6 is hanging. That's the point. So xuanet taking this one is going to let the queen get traded off, so knight takes f6 is not with check. And he'd be looking at maybe queen at c1. So this is interesting. White has 2 pawns for the piece. I think dynamically this could be balanced actually. I mean, I like bishop b4 check because it just covers e8 while it's still check, but queen at c1 was chosen. Maybe he just doesn't want white to castle. Takes, and then maybe bishop h6. How about bishop h6, guys? What do you think of that? It covers e8, and if you lose the rook, yeah, it doesn't work unfortunately. But I was looking bishop h6, then queen at c1, bishop at d3, takes. Bishop at b5 check, king d4, queen c4 check, king e5, knight d7 mate. The problem with bishop h6 here, guys, is pawn at e7. Then king takes e7, you lose the rook with check. If king c8, queen at d8, rook takes, rook at e8 is mate. So bishop h6 is elegant if white takes this immediately, but unfortunately pawn at e7 is a problem. I don't know if that's what xuanet's idea was with queen at c1, but yeah, that's why I was maybe considering bishop b4. I don't think bishop at e2 is enough, or is it? Okay, I like this move, bishop at a4, covering the mate threat. If knight takes here, there'll be queen at d3 at the least, or bishop takes c2. Queen at d3 is met by rook at d2. Bishop takes c2 is met by king c1. But then you might just take here. Rook at e8, check, knight f6, king e7 to avoid mate. Alright, I'm expecting bishop takes e4. Just to clear the way for queen at c2. Xuanet may be concerned by rook at e8, but I don't think it's mating. Rook at e8 takes, knight f6, knight king e7, queen at e8, the king runs up. Pawn at e5, there'll be a safe haven somewhere like king g6. Or you may even be able to just run king g7, pawn at f6, king g8. Queen's on e8, but it can't do anything. So queen at c2 needs to be addressed. I think it's rook at d2 here. And here's where, the strong players try to bait each other with a sack like rook at e8 because it just looks good. But rook at d2 I think is in order. Okay, rook d1, but now black can block, and now the opportunity is missed to defend c2 with tempo with rook at d2. So pawn at d3, queen at c2 still the issue. Maybe knight d4? I think maybe Kleerkast is distracted by rook at e8 and he's trying to make it work. Oh dear. But just as I mentioned, the black king can run to g8 and he's given away a whole bunch of material. So yeah, xuanet has baited him into this situation. You can sack the queen, pawn at g7, but king just goes back to g8. White doesn't have a knight or a rook to place mate. Yeah, this is over. There's too much room to run. There should have been a rook at d2 to defend. So xuanet, the spider, catches the fly, and that's where I was saying if the position gets tactical and Kleerkast plays into it, I think that's where xuanet has an edge. Sticking with the trend of b4, I think he's just deliberately trying to avoid familiar openings for Kleerkast, and I think strategically that's a good idea. and Juan is just going to look for active play, which is what favors him. I would have played bishop e2 first before knight h4, just to deny bishop g4, but I mean this is okay. You don't want to take this yet because the rook's still useful here, I feel. You could sit on this and go later. The trouble is, if knight e4, you're going to get forced into taking it, and yeah, maybe he's just playing it to mix things up, but I actually find this knight h4 is maybe a little bit underprepared. I think you can develop some other pieces first, get black to commit to castling even before you capture here, because once you go knight h4, you're kind of committing to this, because otherwise your knight's left hanging on h4. So that's just a point there where I'd develop a little more before going for this idea. And strategically, Kleerkast is very strong, and I like how he's manoeuvred his pieces so far. So xuanet up 3 games to 2. I think if you Kleerkast here and you're playing to your strengths, it's actually play quickly, play the safe strategic moves. You don't need to go into the tactical complications unless you're forced. Generally, if you play solid strategy, if your opponent wants to make an attack in Crazy House, they'll have to give up some material or sacrifice or do something out of the ordinary, and then when the tactics are forced upon you, you'll at least have a material advantage or something. So that's my 2 cents on strategy here. I mean, Kleerkast's clock is a lot better this game. So I was tipping xuanet to win this 6 games to 4, but anything can happen. We'd love to see 3-all here. I think Kleerkast would be very happy with this position so far. He's just really got a solid center, and he's pushing some space in the middle. Yeah, Confused Stranger says that GM Yasser01, we would love watching you go live and commentate on these games with John. Yasser did in fact do that when we had the last match a few hours ago. We had JK the Bullfrog versus Little Plotkin, and yeah, it was very, very generous of GM Yasser01 to give up some of his time at short notice. So here, pawn at g3 is looking really good. Bishop at h2. You can't go king h1. Knight takes g3 as mate. I'd take with the bishop here, not with the knight. There's more potential allowing this rook in. He takes with the knight though. Maybe he's going for bishop g1. That's also quite reasonable. You can't sack the rook here and take f6 because pawn at f2 is mate. This is also good. I think Kleerkast is cashing in well on his potential. Bishop takes, king takes, or do you prepare with rook h1? No, I agree with taking this. That's fine. He doesn't have to cash in on f2 yet. In a way, it helps white to defend because this queen and the bishop are covering nicely. Black king has plenty of room to run on the queen side. Knight at g7 kind of feels like a waste of material. While b5, xuanet just going straight for the king. But I think if Kleerkast is patient here, he'll do well in this position. I feel like rook h1. Even pawn at c6. I've got king c7 here. No, he's taken straight away. He could play knight h1. That's also very good. And then he might switch his run to the king side. But king c7 is just safe. Knight at e8, king b8, pawn at c7 takes. Because queen at e1's a mate threat now. The king c7 to b8 is a safe path. This one might run into trouble with bishop takes f6, but he played it. I'm more worried about this way. Knight at e8, king e7. If there's mate to be found, xuanet's the man to find it, but maybe the king can go back here. In fact, if king e7, it could be bishop at g5. Yeah, I think king g8 is safe. Just keep running. Pawn at e7, king across, knight at f6, king h8. There's no more checks, and black will have it. So yeah, black's okay here. Kleerkast just slowing it down because xuanet's only got 3 seconds. I think we're going to see 3-all here. Oh, I've missed something though. There's pawn at e7, and you can move the knight to f6 to pick up the queen, but still king h8 is safe, I believe. Takes. The rook is covering the mates. Now white has to address the problems at home. Pawn at g3, bishop at h2 should be game over. That's, there's some defense here, but you can even just take the rook. No, you can't. Queen at h7 mates you. You can't do that. Pawn at g3 is necessary. Bishop at h2. Kleerkast has all the time in the world. He'll find this. Yeah, not rook takes a1. Loses the queen at h7. Just queen at g3, rook at f2. When in doubt, play the checks. We are at 3-all, so anything can happen from here. We love a 3-all match. Okay. Alright, we're gonna see this. I think Kleerkast will be very familiar with this opening. Xuanet is as well. Very solid. So he's allowing knight g4. Yeah, normally h3 is played earlier. I mean, knight g4 was a possibility back there. It just knocks the bishop around a little bit. Yeah, here I'd consider taking f7 first. If knight takes e4, there's d5. This way of doing it, white's got a couple knights landing on g5. This is a weakness. It's not horrible for black. I think though this does expose light square weaknesses which are naturally going to form, and white just doesn't have those sorts of weaknesses in his position. Further to that, there's a fianchettoed bishop, so pawn at h6 in combination with knight g5. There's d5. So bishop at d5 I think makes sense. You're stopping d5, you've got to work on light squares. And if knight g5, you might even consider rook takes f3. Problem is, I think against rook takes f3, queen takes f3 is an option. If bishop takes, pawn at f7 is very dangerous. Here, rook at g8, takes. Wow, what's this? Pawn at f4. That's a xuanet special. Super aggressive guy. I'm not a fan of that move. I think knight takes d8 here is just fine. You allow the captures. I think black's giving away a bit too much material there, because rook at e8 will follow. Yeah, I think maybe if not rook takes f3 because it was too dangerous, maybe just rook f8 was necessary instead of pawn at f4. I think Kleerkast is taking his time here, not because he feels he's in trouble. I think he wants to play this well. He's just doing a bit of calculation. But I just see knight takes d8, takes. How how can black continue the attack? If knight takes rook at e8 block, you pick up another knight. Like white just picks up material. Rook at e8 check. Just pick up the knight on d8. No, I was saying before, as Kleerkast, like, I don't think you have to look for a kill shot here. The kill shot probably isn't there, but if you just play fast, play solid, strategic, crazy house, then you've got to keep xuanet honest here. I mean, if rook at e8, bishop at f8 takes, there's knight at e4 check, but there's just not enough material to sustain the attack. King e1, pawn at f2, king e2, bishop c4 check, pawn at d3. You know, I think Kleerkast's only risk here is getting low on the clock. What's the material count? Pretty much, if you count that a rook, a knight, and a bishop are all equivalent, xuanet is down a whole queen. So yeah, he's safe. He's not immediately busted, but he's going to run out of steam. He can't even have the bishop leave its post. Oh, that's inviting bishop h6 check, but king just moves. You can't even move this bishop, you're going to lose this rook. Yeah, people asking, so Moat's art is saying, what is the format for the final match for Janli and the Challenger? Yeah, so OKZH says first to 30 and a half, so it's 60 games. I think it's 3 separate flights of 20 games, and it's even nice to separate them, you know, a week apart, so that there's, you know, there's time for people to catch up on the first leg of 20 games, and for the viewers to watch them, also for the players to have some time to prepare if they wish to do so. But that's how I think, yeah, knight at h6, absolutely winning here. Mate in 1, or else just coming in, crashing through the front door. Yeah, so that's what the format of the final. It'll be 3+2 time control, 60 games. First to 30 and a half, unless we reach 30 all, then I think it will be win by margin of 2. So yeah, it's not 3 separate matches of 20 games. It's just one match of 60 played across a few different days. So you can win 12-8 and then win 12-8 if you lose, you know, enough matches afterwards. If you're down 16-4, wait, I don't know. Let's say you lose 20-0 in the last match, then you know you still get caught up. It's not that there's no significance in winning 2 out of 3 matches. It's just about first to 30 and a half, to be clear. Okay, so I thought this was a near finish, but knight at e8. Okay. Kleerkast, he's only got 3 seconds. What's he doing? Why isn't he moving? Time is the only problem. Oh no. No. What happened there? Oh my goodness. I was just talking about this, that time trouble is the only way he could lose this game. Knight h6 is still good. Oh, and not really. Oh my goodness. What happened there? Did he slip? Or, I mean, even after knight takes g7, he's still looking good. Knight at g8, he should just take... Well, his queen is on, I suppose. Let's just go to the live action. Kleerkast just threw away a completely winning position. That's tragic for Kleerkast. A pawn at e3 I would have preferred, as it blocked off the bishop. But xuanet won't let this out of his sights. There you go, guys. You blink, and it can all turn in Crazy House. It's just down to practical play, and look, Kleerkast was just fine on the position. He just started getting too low on time, and had to make some pre-moves, and blundered a whole bunch of material. Wow, so xuanet up 4-3. He just got handed a gift there. I really feel bad for Kleerkast. And it's hard. It's easy to call it from the sideline, but when you're in that pressure moment and you want to think through the moves and all that, you know, you're going to burn a bit more time. Now, xuanet already getting aggressive. He's going to sack. I know he is. He's going to be feeling confident after that one. D5 is a natural. Pawn at e6. Grab g4. Yeah, that's that game 7 there. That's a one that will determine the match. Knight at c4. He's looking to track the queen. That's quite elegant. Queen a6. Pawn at b5. But he goes here. He picks off this one. I was more of a fan of d5 and pawn at e6. But okay, he's threatening knight at d8 here, or knight at g5. They're both very dangerous. Let's see if Kleerkast can steady the ship. I mean, I myself have been guilty of getting into some bad time scrambles that I should avoid. Knight at g5 looks really dangerous. I think the black king has to come up. So I can appreciate that, this is over. Knight d5 wins the queen. No, it's pin, of course. Maybe pawn at f6. That's lack of sleep, guys. Knight d5 is not legal. So castle's played first. That makes more sense than knight d5. Yeah, so I'm not trying to give Kleerkast a hard time, but I do have some days where in live play I even can tell myself, I said, the only way you're going to lose this is on time. You've just got to play the best move you can see here and be practical about it. And there's other days when I'm sure I'm going, okay, I can just feel myself, I'm low on the clock all the time. So it is hard to do in live environment and easy to call from the sideline. f7 takes, knight f6 check, take the rook, bishop takes, pawn at f6, king takes. I don't think that's going anywhere. Queen d8. Xuanet's looking hard here. Is it pawn at d7? Okay, he's gone pawn at e7. Pawn at d7, I was suggesting you can't take this way because of f7, and if you take this way, there's f7 check, king, well, f7 check, bishop takes, knight f6 check, king takes, queen takes d7, king takes, queen takes f7. king here, bishop at f4, queen takes, bishop takes f4 mate. That was my idea behind pawn at d7 instead of pawn at e7. But okay, this looks very promising for white. It's just winning material up here, and black's not able to penetrate here. Yeah, I think xuanet's going to take this one, and when he goes to 5-3, he'll be guaranteed half a point. Yeah, that's... No, he's letting him back in. What's going on here? Bishop takes... I mean, white still kind of got enough defense. Because knight f4 is not coming in. But queen at d1 is dangerous. Whoa! How did Kleerkast pull this out? You blink again, and this is busted, guys. What happened there? That was just complacency. King h1 is completely safe. King h1, and black has nothing. That was just complacency taking here. And Kleerkast has found a resource here with queen e1, knight at e2. He couldn't play king h1 now because of queen at g1. He had to take the knight. This is all forced after rook takes f2. You could have blocked with a bishop, but doesn't really help. The key move is you could even play knight takes f2. Anything but rook takes f2. Xuanet just let his guard down for one moment there. Pawn at h4 takes, rook at h5, king g3, pawn at h4. That's mate. Oh my goodness. What is going on this match? Kleerkast back from the dead. I was already calling that 5-3. We've just games 7 and 8 have just been a gift handed either way. Wow. Okay. Well, 4-all. We love 4-all because 4-all means the winner of this game is playing for half a point. They can guarantee half a point, and no matter what, we'll be having the next game also being decisive, and will either determine a full point result or a half point for the other player. Question from CSG Oval Bang. Master Tan is your second account on Leechess? No, Master Tan is another Australian. He's a strong player in his own right. I only have one account. I don't use multiple accounts, and that's for any chess server. It's John Lee on Leechess, it's Tan the Man on Fix, and it's John Lee Crazy House on chess.com. Yeah, I just don't make multiple accounts. I have one identity, one rating. It keeps it simple. Wow. I can't believe the last two games. I mean, Kleerkast was really, really well ahead. Xuanet was pretty much there after king h1. But hats off to Kleerkast. I mean, there's a difference there. Kleerkast actually crafted a win and found a resource where it was nearly scarce. So credit to Kleerkast for winning that one. I felt in the other game, Kleerkast kind of just lost all his pieces, and Xuanet was just there to pick up the win. So, yeah, I mean, Xuanet did kind of give him the opportunity by not playing king h1. That was all. Yeah. I mean, to a novice player, I mean, rook takes f2 looks forgivable, but at this level, I'd expect these guys to see that sort of thing, or just know intuitively. King h1 is so safe. He already had a queen on g8, a pawn on e7. He had plenty of material. He didn't have to go grabbing a bishop. HNYAAA saying, where can I find the CWC leaderboard? If you go on Lee Chess and click onto my account, you'll be able to find a few links, just so you can see where that is. Just a cut from the live action for one moment. The links are here. I can post in chat where the leaderboard is, but let's not veer too far off the live action. We're at 4-all here. So let me just rewind. So black's a pawn up. Where did that get taken? It just got nicked on c2. So it's actually xuanet that picked up the free pawn, and now he's using it here. Okay, white says I have to make something happen. I got a sack to get this, get something going here. And xuanet returns the pawn or rather returns the piece. Okay, so this is a case of my attack is faster than yours. No, it's not. My attack's faster than yours. Both are just going at the king side, respectively. Now, was white, you'd love to have another knight in hand, so you can play knight h5 or knight f5. And just as I say that, this one's been captured. xuanet ignoring the queen, going straight for the king side. Okay, this is interesting. 4-all and all fire is on the board. King h8 recommended here, but black to have a serious think about king takes. I think you're just running into problems with bishop at f6. So king h8, is it bishop at f6? If knight takes h3, you've got king takes g2, bishop at f3, king takes h3 is okay. Bishop at f6 takes, but then you don't have check. So he's backing this out to threaten mate in 1. Can you take the rook and threaten mate? If you take here, you can't play rook here because knight f3 and you'll be mated by rook at h2. If you take the rook, you've got to play king takes f1. That's the only move that survives. So that's been played. Bishop at g7 I think is in order. Come on, xuanet, you've got to defend sometimes, buddy. I get concerned about xuanet here. It's like I have to find the mate, and here I think he just has to take the pedal off the gas for one move. Bishop at g7. I like black here because this knight also covers f7, which means a smothered mate isn't coming. There he goes. Alright, he's decided he's got to defend. Good call. Now this queen's under attack. You might want to take b7. Could be rook b8. You might want to follow up with grabbing the pawn, looking at pawn at e2. But pawn at f6, you just take it. Queen takes. If the queen gets traded off, there's no mate with queen at g8 because of this knight. And then black's happy if there's more trades. So straight at the throat with rook at h1. He can play knight at f3 now. Yeah, this looks like black's game. White could think of taking here maybe? No, this is a good idea. If rook takes. No, it's not a good idea. That's mate actually. I was thinking queen takes a8 and then you're threatening rook at g8. But I think rook takes g1, king e2, bishop at d3. There's enough there. So xuanet, like I said, if it hits the sharp positions, that's where xuanet's stronger. He secures 5 points. Um, Topsy-turvy though in games 7 and 8. Um, I'm really um, I'm really glad for Xuanet that he just settled there with bishop at g7 and he understood he had to just take the pedal off the gas for one move to come through for the win. Because black certainly was better. Um, yeah, quality match there. That one. Alright, can Kleerkast go to 5-all, or am I gonna be right with my prediction of not just the winner but the scoreline? I predicted 6-4 in favour of Xuanet. Only because on paper Xuanet's on 3 out of 9 and Kleerkast on 2 out of 9. Both have I wouldn't say a weakness because they're both very strong, but if there was a small chink in the armor for Kleerkast, it's probably a very aggressive player, and if there's a chink in the armor for Xuanet, it's a strategic player that's going to grind him. So they actually both have weapons that are effective on their opponent, and the weaknesses that are there, which are there to be exploited in a sense. I just don't feel good saying weakness because they're not bad at it. It's just that's the area where you would make the attempt. So here, Xuanet grabbing the material, I think he's correct to do so. I don't see anything direct from bishop takes h3. Yeah. Knight g5, so he's going to hold on to the material. E3 check. He's probably bringing the knight back or putting another knight on f3. Because e3 check blocks off this bishop line, but you can defend it with knight at f3. So black's got to be careful here. I mean, he's down a pawn and a piece already. A lot got sacrificed. You'd be looking, I don't know, is it knight takes d4, but even pawn at f3 there. Knight takes, knight takes, knight at h4. Like, you've got to go for it. And he does. So it's actually Kleerkast the aggressor this game. He's thrown everything in. He's looking for that initiative. Maybe trying to give Kleerkast a taste of his own medicine. Sorry, I said it wrong. Kleerkast is maybe giving Xuanet a taste of his own medicine here. You either commit this way or you take h3 and play for pawn at g2. I preferred bishop takes h3 here actually. If knight takes, even if you don't play pawn at g2, you take here and then bishop at f3 and then the queen moves pawn at g2. But here, bishop takes h3, you don't really have to take it as white. Maybe there's another option on e4, or the queen's already active here. That's just the difference, and Xuanet has picked up on that. You take this back to this moment. I mean, maybe if bishop takes h3, bishop at c4 was there anyway. But I just felt pawn at g2. You've got this pawn support in the attack. So if bishop takes, you take the rook. Bishop g2, king g1, rook at h1. It's mate all of a sudden. It's just a slight move order thing that bishop takes h3 before f takes e2. I think was just a little bit stronger for black. Now pawn at g2 has been played. Knight takes h3, bishop at f3. No. It was bishop at f3 there. I mean, that's threatening that rook, and that's really hard. So you pick up the queen here, but white gets safe. You could take this one. I just like bishop at f3 a bit better. I'm kind of even wondering if bishop at c4 was the right move by white, because white could have also just taken e4 potentially. Knight takes e4 alleviates a lot of the pressure on the light squares, and you're now threatening, knight f6, which is also very dangerous itself. But let's go back to the live action. Yeah, Kleerkast, he's been very resourceful here. He only has one tempo to do something with, and he keeps threatening mate in one. If knight at g3 here, you lose the queen. Bishop at b5 check. So c6, knight at c7. Probably king d8. Bishop g5, no good because it can be captured. Knight takes, no good, rook at h1. You've got to defend with knight at g3. I think it was wise to put the bishop here though, to have extra defense on f1. So knight at g3 takes, bishop takes e2, bishop takes h3, and black looks good. Kleerkast has taken the right risk. Maybe bishop at c4 isn't right. It's actually knight takes e4. Maybe we're going to see 5 all. Okay, that's a good move. So now he can play bishop g5 because he can recapture this one. Oh, time, Kleerkast. Oh, now is this capturable? Because and this is the point of bishop at b5 check. Just that extra bishop on f1 might let white get into the attacking zone. And just like that, now white looks like he's better. Okay, that's smart because you make white expend something here, but the bishop plays. If you didn't have the bishop, it'll be queen at h1 being mate. So knight takes here. This is over. When the checks run out, this is going to be white's game. Wow, this is fantastic, Crazy House. I couldn't even pick this game very clearly. Xuanet defended fantastically there with bishop at b5 and the bishop g5 at the right time. And just like that, Xuanet wins 6-4. What a game. What a series. That was a fantastic match. Well, now I can say I told you so, right? Not really. I mean, I did pick Xuanet to win 6-4, but that could have been anyone's series. That could have been anyone's match. Phenomenal play. Great fight. Let's just recap this. I just thought there were some moments here where, I pointed out that bishop takes h3 wouldn't allow the queen to get to e2. Maybe bishop at c4 is not as accurate as knight takes e4. To go into some of the lines, knight takes e4, and I mean the computer's calling plus. I don't want to use the engine, but you've got to look out for knight f6 check. King d8 is mated with queen e8. King f8 runs into pawn at e7, which is after captured. Knight takes. So that would be enough. I'm quite sure to secure a win. So I think knight takes e4 was a safer path. Now bishop at c4 happened, and then here's where black was very resourceful. But I thought bishop at f3 was just a little bit stronger here. I mean that's a real pain to defend. And even if you take this one, there's still a mate threat here. Takes and queen at g2. You can't even defend with knight at f4 because black can afford to sack the queen. That diagonal plays. So I just felt bishop at f3 was a lot stronger there. Maybe you have knight at g3, but you could just take it, and you're even picking up the queen with check. I mean, you've clearly nullified the threat of queen c4 there. So it may not be mate here, but black is not going to be complaining. Black got some potential from the opening, so I felt bishop at f3 may have been critical. And you can see the difference in balance. Well, bishop at f3, I mean, is preferred by the engine. If you go here, the moment you play g takes h1, suddenly it says you're plus 10 in white's favor. So, the engine agrees with my assessment that some of these move orders are actually critical. Bishop at f3. Now white gets to play pawn at g2, and white has a secure king. If you take the queen, white can take here, and then white will have a residual material advantage. Rook here, bishop at g1, everything gets sealed off. If it's queen at f1, you probably defend with a queen to stop queen g2 as a potential sack. Just to show what I'm talking about, you do have to be careful here. Bishop at g1 looks like it loses, so queen takes g2. Bishop f3, rook at g4. If you go this way, pawn e2. But you can block with a queen because you just took one on d5, and that stops queen takes g2 from working, and then black's attack runs out. So these are all the finer points of this game, and the fine move orders that really make the difference. Where bishop at f3 is a lot stronger. And then even here, yeah, king g1 maybe is not accurate because it allows pawn at f3. I actually think king takes g2 is right. And I think the engine will probably agree. You've got pawn here. You might have to just back the king off there. Look, there's a lot of checks that will come after this. But it looks risky, but I just think after king g1 though, pawn at f3 really hurts. Now rook at h1 is mate. Like, there's having your king in danger, and there's having your king in mate in one. But anyway, bishop at b5, very nice, and making use of two checks, bishop g5 and bishop at b5 check, to defend f1 with a bishop and also a rook, enabling white to take here. Without either of these two moves, black has the option of rook at f1, and this knight would be taken off its guard off h1. At the end of the day, that was the critical point. And then Kleerkast threw in the towel here. Well, okay, so 2 players have now finished their 10 games. Congratulations to xuanet and Kleerkast. Both of you are entitled to your share of the Candidates Appreciation Fund, $101. I believe xuanet would like to donate his share back. I got a nice comment from him. I'll just read it out from the channel. I think Kleerkast has given me his PayPal address. That's all good. I'll just read this from xuanet. I thought it was very kind. He said, hello Justin. I think after all your efforts, you should be the one to keep the prize fund you raised by doing great efforts and waking up really early just to stream some matches. I'd be glad if you would keep my share of the fund and use it to keep doing what you're doing to raise Crazy House awareness. Thanks for the gesture, Joe. Thanks for the gesture, though. Very much appreciated. It's always good luck in your games against Oppa. So, mathematically, GSVC can still catch Oppa to tie, but from a practical perspective, Oppa Wesson is virtually going to win these. So, that's very kind of xuanet. So I want to acknowledge that he's completed all his matches and generously returned his donation. So I won't be personally keeping the donation. We'll put that money back into Crazy House. It's come from the viewers. There's more events to support. So we'll make good use of those funds. I'm going to wrap up there. Thank you so much for joining again. Next match that's scheduled is on, for my time, it's going to be midnight around Monday. It's Oppelwesen versus Blitz Bullet. You can check out this website. I'll post this in the channel. That's in the chat. So at the bottom right, just over here, oh, hang on, here it is. You can click on this and change the schedule to your city, show all time zones. Fantastic website. Go check it out. Next game is going to be Oppelwesen's last match. It will be Oppelwesen versus Blitz Bullet. That'll be Sunday for most parts of the world. It'll be Monday midnight for me. I will be attempting to stream that one, but I will skip Fumi Talks vs GSVC. I will need to sleep so I can go to work on Monday morning, but I will attempt to do the midnight stream. Okay, until then, thank you so much for supporting Crazy House. It's been phenomenal. Have a great weekend wherever you are. It's not the weekend yet, but we're heading into the weekend. I've got a day off on Friday today, so I feel like it's the weekend already. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.